sibonga Trailemza. 5 things Michael Jackson taught us about business. If you look at life and you look at some of the greatest people that have been good at what they do, and you've followed them for a while, there's a lot of things that you can take from as far as being an entrepreneur, a successful business person is concerned. Michael Jackson was a perfectionist. Michael Jackson was his own choreographer. He directed his own music videos. Not that he directed them all, but he was very involved in directing his music videos. Most of them he did direct. He was involved in his wardrobe, costume. He even taught other people how to dress, and he even taught other people how to dance, all the way up to production of his music. Now, if I'll make an example about a local South African artist who does that, is Sis Zonke. She's incredible. She's too incredible. I don't even think people understand at what magnitude Sis Zonke is so amazing. She's not only an amazing vocalist, but she's very involved in her musical production, just like Michael Jackson was as well. Michael Jackson wasn't only involved in lead vocals. Yes, he was involved in songwriting. He was involved in recording the music, lead vocals. Obviously, you do dubs, you do the ad-libs and all of those things and backing yourself, etc. But his voice was immaculate. So if you learn, or as an entrepreneur, a businessman, if you look at Michael Jackson from that point, the point one that I just spoke about, in the beginning, you are the receptionist, you answer the phone. Sometimes you even answer the phone with another voice. Yeah, hello? No, he's not here. Yeah, but I can help you. Why? Because you are the entrepreneur. And in the beginning, you are alone. You're the one that just believes in this vision. You're the only one that believes in this idea because you're the only one that can see it. That's why other people see you as if ngathi uphambene. And that's how entrepreneurs are in the beginning, because all they're trying to do is to try to put into action or make it a reality what they have in their mind. You are your own driver. You are your own wardrobe designer. You manufacture the stuff yourself. If maybe, let's say, you're in manufacturing, you do the deliveries yourself, you do the sales yourself, you do the marketing yourself, you do the social media yourself. In the beginning, you do everything. If there's 2 of you guys starting a business together, the 2 of you in the beginning will do everything. You will be everything. You'll be the cameraman, you'll be the sound person, you'll be the costume designer, you'll be the everything, because it's your business. In the beginning also, there isn't a lot of money to spend. That's why I always say to people, times have changed. You don't even have to move out of your home. You can use your garage. There is no need for you to go hire an office space, because in the beginning, you can just use the garage. Your car can still park in your yard, but ngaphandle, and then just use the garage as a form of an office. Or you can turn one of your rooms in your house as an office to save costs. Now remember, as a person who's starting a business or an idea, those are some of the things that you look at the most. So you do everything. That's number one, why some of the things that Michael Jackson taught us. He was the greatest entertainer of all time. He had his hands in everything, guys. When you start a business, you do, geez, man, it's not even 10 jobs. Like, it's 20, 30 jobs. And that's why you seem crazy in the beginning. All right, let's get into point number 2. You must have a signature move. Let's start with Michael Jackson first. They say here, Michael Jackson did the moonwalk, and that became the move people always wanted to see. What is your secret sauce or custom process in your business? Does your business have a signature that your customers are aware of? If you look at brands like Nando's, Nando's is now a global brand, but there's just that signature sauce at your Nando's. There's just that signature recipe at your Coca-Cola. There's just that signature thing, man. Ngalamu fire. Bangazihlanyisa bonke abo-prime baze baba ngumsindo mara kusala ibhozi yohlala ikhona. You know, there must be laa nto ngawe You know, as Saudi would do this hand gesture. You must just have that thing about you that sets you apart from everything else. Because everything that you're doing, you must remember you're not reinventing the wheel. Everybody most likely has done it. Somebody has done it before, whatever it might be. When Theo started Ipatu, there was already a lot of sneakers in the marketplace. This is a new brand. It's called Abuti. There's always been streetwear, but how are they doing theirs? You look at the signature things that they put onto their brands. You look at the labels that they put in places like here. You check the quality. You check the branding. You know, there must just be that thing about you when you're creating something in the beginning as a business person. And as you grow your business, we must know you about that thing that sets you apart. And this is not only for business people, this is for all professionals. Whatever you do, you must just have that thing about you that sets you apart. If you're still working at an office space, or you're serving your articles, or you've just finished writing your board exam, you're about to become a chartered accountant, there must just be something about you, man. Even me, with people I work with, there is, as much as there can be a team, but there's just that one that you know you rely on. You know, with this one never gives excuses. No matter how difficult of a task you may give them, but they will compute, they will complete, and they will execute it. They will not come with excuses. They will come earlier than everybody. They will live last. They'll even spend more time at work than other. That's one of those things that where you are now setting yourself apart. Why? Because you're building your career. You want other people to see, or you bring more to the table as opposed to just the skill that they might have hired you for. Even if you're still a student or you're still a new, they call it an appy or an appy in Afrikaans, when you're still a new worker, or you're still a sort of a student, or you're still learning the ropes of how the business works in this new company that you work for. So there must always be that thing that sets you apart. Number 3, you must be strategic about branding. From the very beginning, he wanted to be legendary. He was just 21 years old when he made Off the Wall. But by the time he made the Thriller album, he understood branding as well as any Madison Avenue ad agency. The infamous sequin glove he wore when he did the moonwalk, to the red leather zipper jacket from Beat It Video, and his dance moves were all part of his brand. Every time Michael Jackson released an album, he reinvented his look. His versatility was his brand. He managed to be original and timeless at the same time. Children who never saw him perform live know the words to his songs. Is it time for you to reinvent your business? When we started, the can was black. And it wasn't this type of a can. It was just a plain black can. In the beginning, it just only had a wrap. It was just a plain can. And our branding, our packaging was just normal. But over time, as you build this business, you reinvest in this business so that you give it that top-notch branding that you want it to stand out, even when it's standing or it's in the fridge with other cans. It must just stand out. And that's why we started with our black can. We always say our black can, represents, black is a color of boldness, is a color of strength. And the name More Fire, that burning desire, right? And we say we are igniting your mind. Because other brands might just say we are into extreme sports, but we're saying we are here. We are into inspiration. We inspire you. So when you find a lot of people out there that always say, "Hey, Brasbu, you inspire us." They don't have to like me, but a lot of them will say, Lachep is inspiring with his work. His work ethic is inspiring. You can hate me all you want, but you do know deep down what I know. That's how you must be with your branding. Your branding must stand out. If I'm wearing a Batu shoe, I must look at a Batu and be like, oh, wow, walk your journey. Look at the B. Look at how they've branded it. Look at the improvement from the first shoe that they had. I was one of the first people to make this shoe popular in South Africa. It's one of the biggest brands, if not the number one biggest sneaker brand in Africa right now. And I'm very blessed to have been a part of seeing this shoe from when the brand started in the beginning. That's what you gotta do, guys. Don't think you are just taking chances. How's aboard? No. From the beginning, you must be intentional about building a brand. If you're a new musician, you're a new DJ, you're a new dancer, you're a new group, or you're a new startup fintech, or you're starting your own new sauces, or you're starting your own new spices that you're going to be selling, how are you going to brand them? How are you going to differentiate your brand from all the other brands that are out there in the marketplace? Branding is everything. When I start my episodes on the Hustler's Corner, you'll find me holding a can of Mofa and going, Tiko. Now, what happens with the marketplace in South Africa? Even when you're not drinking a can of Mofa, you're drinking anything, even if it's an alcohol can, even if it's a cider, even if I'm not there, what do you think of when you're about to open the can? You're thinking of Sbu saying Tiko. That's also a form of branding, how we've branded ourselves. And we knew that as much as we are setting ourselves apart from all these other energy drinks in the marketplace, we are going to brand ourselves as an energy drink for the people, for the streets. So you might have seen me selling Mofa in the streets. You might have seen somebody selling Mofa at a street corner. When people even hear of brands like Abo Prime and they get excited and it's new in the country and blah, 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 but deep down, people know if we have to think of an energy drink for the masses, for yasekasi, we know no doubt yasekasi. You think of? There you said it yourself in your own mind. I didn't even have to say it for you. Why? Because we've set ourselves apart when we're building the brand. So when you are building a brand as well, that's what you do. You look at what everybody else is doing and you set yourself apart from everybody. And you're building this thing, you must be intentional about taking it to a particular direction. Till now we knew we were going to build a brand for the masses. Okay, let's go to number 4. The video is getting a little bit longer. You must be an innovator. Michael Jackson was self-taught in music and dance, but he studied Fred Astaire, Charlie Chaplin. He studied the likes of James Brown and Frank Sinatra. Every time he did something first, he did it best. Thriller was the greatest selling album of all time at 100 million copies. In the video for Thriller, the song had the world on the edge of our seats, waiting for the world premiere. Is there an innovation in your business that could have the world on its edge, on the edge of its seats, waiting for it? And what is that? And a little bit earlier on, as talking about branding, I forgot to mention reinvention as well. Now, I'm an entertainer. At some point when I came into the scene, people saw me as a community radio presenter. But then I got on television. People started seeing me as a TV presenter. Then I got onto commercial radio. People started seeing me as a breakfast radio host, an afternoon drive radio host. And then people started seeing me as a DJ. And then people started seeing me as a producer. People started seeing me as a style fashion icon at some point many years ago. And time evolves. And as time evolves, because I've also been in the entertainment industry for all these years, all of my life pretty much, I can relate with this article. And that's why I'm choosing a Michael Jackson article, because I can relate to it and I can relate with reinventing myself. Guys, you have to reinvent yourself. It's not over until God says so. The fact that you can still wake up in the morning, it means you're still alive. They've made one example and they said, would you take 10 million rands $10 million if I were to give it to you? People are like, of course. And they're like, but what if I told you that you won't wake up tomorrow? That's the condition, that you take this that's $10 million. And people are like, I know, I'd rather not take it. And then they're like, so you do agree that waking up in the morning is more important than the $10 million? Exactly. The fact that you're still alive, it means you can still forge, but in chart forth your ideas. So even if you're no longer making music anymore, you feel maybe you're older, maybe you're a family person, you can reinvent yourself. You don't have to just let that brand that you built during your music years just die off. We already know you with that brand. Why not take that brand as, maybe, I'm just making an example, Grootman Speakery, and start your own nail brand, Speakery brand that you sell. Maybe, let's say, for another example, DJ Fresh, you come up with your own fresh water or fresh whatever because of the word fresh, where you don't necessarily maybe have to be a DJ, but you are selling a product that has to do with being fresh, right? Reinvention. You always have to reinvent yourself as you're building this brand. As time evolves, you have to also evolve. I've evolved, I don't know how many times. I don't know how many times people have, wow, you are a great public speaker. You're an award-winning public speaker. You're an award-winning entrepreneur. You're an award-winning I'm all these different things at different times. For 5 years, I'll be this. Another 5 years, I'll be that. Another 5 years, I'll be that. Why? I keep reinventing myself with time. I started from community radio, traditional radio. Look at what I'm doing now. I am podcasting. Why? Because I'm always willing to be taught. I'm willing to learn. That's how you must be when you're approaching your business as well. When you're approaching your business, you must be willing to learn from how other people are doing things, how the market has evolved, and you must be able to provide what the market is looking for. Otherwise, you'll be another Reader's Digest. You'll be digested. You'll be another BlackBerry. At some point, we're all here on BBM. Check BBM, he's playing my song. You remember the BBM craze? But right now, there's WhatsApp. And if Mark Zuckerberg sleeps, as we can see that he is sleeping right now, there's TikTok. Everybody's now on TikTok. Why do you think they want to ban TikTok in America? Because they can see the algorithms of TikTok are about pushing everybody and pushing your content to as many people as possible, as opposed to platforms like Facebook and Instagram. They suppress your entire following. They only show your videos maybe to only 10 to 20% of your following. Why? Because they want you to advertise. They want those advertisement dollars. And TikTok doesn't do that. What does TikTok do? It saw that, oh, okay, there were other players in the marketplace. It came in hard. Yes, you have to give it to Mark Zuckerberg as well for buying WhatsApp and also for copying what Snapchat was doing by starting Instagram stories. You remember he tried to buy Snapchat, he couldn't, and then he created his own Snapchat by creating stories. And then TikTok came. TikTok is now killing the game because its algorithms favor everybody. They don't only favor celebrities, and they don't even suppress your content. They show it to as many people as possible. As long as you abide by the community guidelines, they will show your video to as many people as possible. So be that type of a person when you are also in business. Learn from that. There's a lot we can learn from Michael Jackson. Let me go to the next point. The next point will be number 5, because I did say 4, you have to be an innovator. You have to innovate. As I've just made a great example about Mark Zuckerberg. As much as he started with Facebook, but now he owns Instagram and WhatsApp. What has he been able to do over the years? He's been able to integrate these platforms. He innovated, and after innovating, he became a smart businessman, and he bought out the competition, and then he just kept on evolving with the times and also reinventing themselves, and they innovated in that tech space. Facebook was not the only one. There were many other platforms that were friendly platforms that connected friends together around that time when he was at Harvard. But Facebook became the one. It's just like Apple. Apple was not the only one. There were many others, but Apple came out victor as the main guys that are good at what they do in their space. That's why every time when they have to drop anything new, there's always queues of people in their stores all over the world. Same as Michael Jordan. The Jordan shoes, when they're about to drop, the queues. And I'm loving what's going on in South Africa right now, where if Drip is about to open a new store or when Batu is about to open a new store, you are seeing long queues. You know how many orders we get at MoFire when we're about to drop a new flavor? We get a lot of orders of that new flavor from our clients because we put out word out there in the marketplace that we are dropping a new flavor. You must also be like that when it comes to your business as well. You've seen even with musicians, when they're about to drop a new album, they always come up with different ways on how to present this album to the people. All right, let's move right now to the last point, number 5. You must give more than you get. Michael Jackson made the Genesis book, or made the Genesis. It's not actually Genesis, it's Guinness. I think they made a mistake here. Michael Jackson made the Guinness Book of World Records for most charities ever supported by a pop star while he lived. He gave more than half $500,000 to charity, and in his death, he left 20% of his estate to charity. What have you given to your favorite charity? Do you just give money or do you give your time? And that's what I want to ask you. Giving. I always say giving is the most important service you can ever provide society. You have to give. You don't have any other choice. I regard myself successful all the way up until today because I've always been giving in my career. I've always been giving with people that are around me, young people that are around me, giving off information, sharing game. Even now, I'm here on camera almost an hour recording free game, giving you guys free game. And yes, I know some of you guys, these are the things you know, but hearing them from some people or faces that are familiar to you, they might just make an impact in your own business. And I don't know how many people have told me that, of how much I've helped them. I mean, the other day, I want to thank my brother Siboniso Mchali. He runs a platform called the Money Republic. I was interviewing him on my platform, my podcast, The Hustler's Corner, and he was talking about how helping people how to make money in the property space. He's passionate about helping people how to grow their money. And he gave me 10,000 rands to my charity, to my foundation. And I was like, why, bro? He even said it on camera. On camera, he didn't. On camera, he sounded as if he was joking, but off camera, he actually gave, and he did deposit the money. And I want to always appreciate you, my brother. That's amazing, because he says when he was growing up, when he was down and out, he used to listen to me on Ukozi FM, and he used to watch me on television. And at some point, when things were not happening for him, he says I was that one voice that kept him going, even when he felt like giving up. Right now, he's one of the most successful South African entrepreneurs. He's a millionaire, and he's giving back to me. And that's an incredible thing to do, to give back. So when you give, you'll always be blessed. I always say when money is your motive, you'll always be lacking. But when purpose is rooted in service, money chases you. You can never get away from it. Money chases me. I can never get away from it. Noma ngiwa, sometimes I always will come back, I bounce back. Why? Because I have been giving my entire career. Bursaries, giving off of my time, going to schools, doing all sorts of different things that I might not mention on camera right now. But your business must be able to give and provide society with charitable deeds. And just the last bonus one that I'll throw in there is number 6. Who is the business owner in the mirror? The man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, or man in the mirror, close quote, was one of Michael Jackson's most famous songs. In it, he talked about changing the man in the mirror. What do you need to change about the business owner in the mirror? Does your family know what kind of day you had based on how you treat them? Are you a family-first entrepreneur or a work-first entrepreneur? Let's all work to keep our family and friends as our number one customer. I've fallen into that trap of being so busy that I forget to give time to my family. And that is not fair, because an entrepreneur must always be balanced. As much as you are putting an effort in growing this business and building this dream and creating generational wealth, when you come back home at the end of the day, you must give in the same amount of time to your children. And the reason why you're an entrepreneur is so you can own your time. As your business grows and as you are able to get free time or spare time, spend it as much as you can with your children. Spend it as much as you can with your husband. Spend it as much as you can with your wife, with your mother, with your niece, with your cousins, with your friends. Give off, give off yourself to your family, because ultimately we can do all these things like emhlabeni, izinto zomhlaba, but ultimately family comes first.